Niiamah here. I'm ready to come and share something really fun with you here today. Hope really excited for our experience here today. I'm actually, as much as I'm excited, I'm also a little bit nervous because today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. And so, whenever you come and watch this, go ahead and leave some messages in the chat. I'm going to let me know where you're from, let me know what's happening here, and we'll go ahead and get everything started. All right, looks like we have every system online, so let's jump into this here. Welcome to Outliers Edge Live. I am Niiamah Ashong, the founder of Outliers Edge, which is a movement of extraordinary people who are here to lead the change that they are on this planet to make and build the engines that continue to support that sustainably. When I mean sustainably, I'm talking about without them being there in a way that funds the impact and beyond. And so today, I'm coming into this conversation here with the overall topic of being behind the scenes. And I had originally planned on coming in here and sharing with you some of what, like having you uh, observe me as I was creating my thought leadership. So going through, looking at my calendar and seeing some of the different lessons that I've been sharing with my clients recently, as well as going through and sharing some of the different insights and ahas that I've been having on my own. I decided to scratch that though, and the reason for that is that there was something in the back of my mind that was just getting at me. And what was getting at me was that my engine for client creation hasn't been finished yet. My engine, like I've chosen to do live streaming. You all may know I'm playing a game of getting 10,000 minutes of live streaming done before December 31st of 2025, and so we're about 6 weeks out from that, maybe a little less. And I have a vacation in the middle of it. And so there was a tension that was taking place. And I want to start off here being real with you. We're going to dive into actually more of the behind the scenes stuff, but I want to let you know like what I'm thinking and where the tension is and why today is going to be different than what I had anticipated. So the tension that I had was that I know that like 10,000 minutes of live streaming is it's a pretty ridiculous goal for me right now, given that beforehand I had zero, like more or less zero, right? And I started it from zero, even though I had some live streams going in the past, and there was like so much infrastructure that needed to get done. There was like letting people know about this, being able to create the ongoing like components of this. Like I was trying to figure out all these things, and what ended up happening is that I was hiding behind the scenes. Like it was like, how do I get all these things ready to go before I can get started? And so what was happening is that day after day, week after week, I wasn't actually getting started, and it was really easy for me to not have like some kind of deadline or something that like drove me forward because I'm like, no one was looking for this. This was just an idea that I had, and it's not just like a random idea. I vetted it. I had to make sure that it made sense for my business model, made sense for the traction I was already seeing in business, such that this didn't become like some new thing that I was tossing on. Well, the, when I was looking at today, I had my calendar is fairly open, and the reason for that is that I haven't actually been creating any new like connections, haven't been inviting new people in. My usual engine of creating clients and creating relationships that can lead to something is through the podcast, and I am moving. But we had something happen with the podcast where all of my email addresses got shut down, and we had to like take a break from sending out there, and which gave me some time to go build this infrastructure. Anyway, the real thing here is I know that I can talk for like 8 hours straight. If we needed to, like I could be on this live. I can do a 24-hour marathon. Like that's not a problem. And I can rack up minutes from that perspective. But and this happened the other day with a client of mine. I have a real distinction that I look for, which is what's a challenge that people give you or a challenge that sounds good on paper that is actually completely distracting you from what it is that really matters. And that was one of the things that was coming for me right now, which was like, all right, I have this element of 10,000 minutes. It's a really great and engaging. Hold on one second. I'm going to take off my. I had my heater on next to me, and it was just like it was getting a bit too hot, or maybe it's just that I'm feeling uncomfortable, one or the other. But the question I was asking myself was like, okay, I have this challenge that I'm taking, not challenge. I'm trying to use the language directly. Challenge is it motivates me differently than getting to play a game. So I get to play this game of the 10K live, and I want to win. Right, I want to play to win, and the what was coming to me is I'm like, I could spend a day creating and having people come behind the scene and watching me create these videos. Uh, but what would be missing, and I know this, I know what would be missing. What would be missing is that while the thought leadership is out in the world, while I feel better about like getting something out that I've created, and I can always get my team to start building up our repurposing engine and helping them like really take these live streams that we're doing and then turn them into clips, turn them into emails. Like we have this whole engine and ecosystem built behind all that we're doing. That part wasn't the most important part yet. All right. That part wasn't the most important part. The most important thing was to get people into the movement, was to start inviting people, was to be able to be in a place where when I come onto a live at 10 a.m. Pacific on weekdays, which is what we do every time that like that's it. This is our time. The people are expecting it. The people are there waiting. That people are asking and calling me forward into something new, as opposed to me relying on the algorithm and hoping that someone shows up and like so on and so forth. Like I can talk to zero people. I mean, that's what I was doing when I was recording with no one there anyway, right? So there's no difference there for me. Although right now I am actually stepping back into leadership of thoughts and experiences. And so this tension was running through me and trying to figure out like how do I do like I know that what I need to do is actually figure out how I'm inviting people into the movement, how what the engine looks like for that. So I'm consistently inviting people in so that there's a way like the movement actually exists beyond just like me talking about it or sharing and saying like, hey, go join the movement. It's like well, like what needed to change. And so I'm gonna read a little bit here of something that I'm gonna give you like behind myself. I was gonna read it, but you know what? I gotta play. Um, and so what I can do instead of just reading it to you is put it on the screen. Let me go ahead and this is my first. See, look what I'm saying. Like every minute we get a chance to explore, like get better with this. I'm going to share my screen. I think that's the right call. And I'm going to share with you like the exact conversation I was having with ChatGPT on this. So you should be able to see my screen right now. It's now fully on the camera. I'm going to see what it looks like for you all. All right, cool. So you're coming into my ChatGPT. I'll put myself. Let's see if we can do a little bit of both of these here. All right, cool. All right. So we have yeah, I think this is the one to go with. All right. So I'm going to go over to show you here, and I'll read it out loud here. So I went to ChatGPT right before I came on here. I said, "Hey, I have the day free, and I can do several hours of live streaming today towards my 10K minutes live goal." And then this is where y'all get to see inside my brain. However, I don't have anything in place to actually get people into the movement, which is the real goal. But today would be a great day to get additional minutes in. But I feel I have to focus on the real prize, which is figuring out the invitations that I'm making and getting people to come on with me, rather than just record my solo thought leadership alone every day live and make 10,000 minutes of solo content. That's not the goal. The 10K goal was to push me out of my comfort zone and to have me jump into motion. I don't want a challenge or a game to keep me from creating clients, but I also know that I learn a lot whenever I do one of these. Every minute is learning, and I can't hide by talking to you. I could just have some dead space and try texting people or typing to people while live, like do that work live, and then I sent it, right? Um, so I'm this is you're seeing like this is how I talk to to my AI here. And the what was really fun about this was one, just being able to express like the truth of what I was trying to go through, the part of where I was like stuck. But then it also gave me a really funny like response, right? And you can tell like I've asked for like like be my COO, be like I've asked her to do certain things along the way. Um, but it came out with something that like well, it's what you're seeing right now. It's like you can absolutely live stream for hours and stay focused on the real prize, bringing people into the movement and generating clients. The issue is not minutes versus client creation. It's the issues you're thinking of them as different activities. They are not. Today can be both a high throughput day of client creation and a huge push towards your 10K minutes if you simply change how you live stream. All right. So let's like I'm gonna go and read a little bit more of this here, but I like this is the way I want to live stream here. The way I want to do this is like it's with us all together, right? And so right now what's happening is that it's changing my paradigm, right? It's changing my thoughts. I had given it an either or. Should I do this or do that? And what it's saying is that it's like, hey, I hear you with the either or. And check this out. What if we can do both at the same time? Now, that to me is something I love. I love these highly leveraged activities where it's where we find it like I called the intersection that we find the intersection of opportunity. I made that up there, by the way, but let's TM that. Let's make that into something here. I'll talk to like we'll add that team, keep that on the list for us to explore and dive more into later as an actual framework. But the intersection of opportunity and what that looks like for me, and I want to make sure I'm bringing this to you. I'm going to bring more of my what chat shared with me, but. Um, when I think about the intersection of opportunities, it's oftentimes we have one like multiple things that we're trying to get done. I need, yeah, I'll just keep it at that. Like, and but each of them have their own separate kind of their own separate silo. And where I like it's like one circle. I think about these like I think in concentric circles. So one circle is about let's say for me in this case thought leadership. Another circle is about helping my team be able to create repurposed content. Another circle is about learning more about both live streaming, learn more about live streaming. Another one about learning more about like leading a movement. There's another circle around actually bringing more people into the movement, just overall. And in particular, that ties back to having an engine, so something that like continues to work so that while I'm on the live stream, people from the movement are coming into the live stream. The live stream is more interactive than just me here. We have ways to continue to build out, and we're like actually doing the work in real time with real people. All right, let's leave that. Oh, and then the last circle is like, and this has to make like has to fund. It has to be able to create revenue through this year. And the like that's really important. I'm going to be talking about creating revenue because I know a lot of really great outliers who are very impact driven, myself included, that just weren't making the money, and that almost took us out of the game altogether. And so you'll see, like, I'll keep it real with you about how things are going. Like you're seeing me in this is the montage. It's just very slow. It's just 10,000 minutes at a time while we're still going through the montage of it. So I brought up all these different things, and ultimately when I like what ChatGPT is doing and what's happening right now is that it's saying you're seeing all these different things as separate problems to go and solve. However, there's a solution out there that actually solves all of these problems all at once. All right. And let's see if we can find the solution that solves all the problems all at once and go with it. Now, the challenge with that, right? And so the way I'll look at it is like I'll just use two different of these intersections of opportunities. It's like yeah, let's say you had two of these circles. Think about a Venn diagram essentially. You have three different circles and then one of them in the middle where the overlap is, right? Imagine that now with seven different ideas, and that's it, right? And so what was coming from it was it ended up being it's basically saying, okay, what's the sliver? What would it take to be able to do both of these things at the same time? And so I'm going to go back into I'll go back into reading sharing more about what was going on with ChatGPT here, so you can get more into the insights there. But the idea here, and just before I do that, I want to ask you, like, where in your life have you put together separate tasks that need to get done, and where's the overlap? Where's the intersection of opportunity that you can find in it? Before I get back to it, there's one last thing I'm going to say. It's in the Chat GPT. I also called this out. The thing about it is that it's not that the option wasn't there. It's not like I didn't know it, but it required a different level of courage, right? I'm not comfortable right now showing you all what like actually having like a working day live. Like I'm like, that's not gonna be entertaining. That's not gonna be interesting. Like who wants to see me doing this? Like, what if I have dead time? I don't even know what I'm gonna say. I don't even know what the plan is. I'm just making this up in real time, knowing the direction that I need to go and having a lot of experiences in my toolkit to be able to help drive me forward. And so if you've ever had any of those kinds of experiences, like put it into the comments, let us know. This this is I'm just trying to do it in a real way. So I'll go back and read to you more about what chat had to say to me. So what it said was, so I came out and I was like, hey, look, I have the day free 10K minutes live goal is a thing, but I know that I can easily create content. But that's not what I want to do. I'm here to like bring people into the movement and really create from this space. And I don't have the engines in place yet to make that come to life. So should I focus on like doing more minutes toward my 10,000 minute goal, or should I come in and actually build out more of of the client creation and the actual engine that supports it all, right? And when I think about an engine, just so you know, the language that I use, I use engine. To me, it's different than a system. A system has inputs. You start somewhere, and then something happens, and then you get outputs. To me, an engine is you get a system. It starts somewhere, you get outputs, and those outputs then go into the next system that starts somewhere, and eventually it leads right back to where it begins, where it started in the first place, and it continues to churn with or without you, right? And so that's what's being built through these live streams here. It's not these like I'm not just doing like a live stream challenge. I'm actually building a whole interconnected ecosystem, or what I call engine, to take the things I'm doing live, take the experiences that I'm doing, and turn them into clients, relationships, thought leadership, clout, experiences, and beyond. Right. So that's what's happening underneath this. So chat came to me and said, you can actually live stream today for hours and stay focused on the real prize, bringing people into the movement and generating clients. The issue is not minutes versus client creations. The issue is that you think they are different activities. They are not. Today can be both a high throughput day of client creation and a huge push toward your 10K minutes if you simply change how you live stream. Here goes an example. All right. So the goal is not content. Your North Star for today is the goal is not content. The goal is invitations. And every minute live must support bringing someone into the group, inviting someone into the group, bringing someone on screen, doing live outreach, reviewing messages, making decisions publicly, creating proof, momentum, and energy that pulls people in. And I win today by doing the live work and sending invites and bringing people on and so forth. The minutes rack up automatically. And the real problem that I brought up is like, I don't have anything in place to get people into the movement. Like that is my actual issue. It's easier to get to the 10K minutes than it is to actually bring people to the minute and into the movement. And so it says like the translation, you haven't built your invite flow for the movement here. That's absolutely correct. I don't have the flow or the engine set up so that like people can come into the movement. There's little things that I have here. If you're watching this live, you can use a QR code on the screen to go join the movement here. We do things like when you do that, you can come join us like live on the show and beyond and meet the other outliers we put together. We have 450 people in that space. If you're listening, you can go to outliersedge.com/guild or just go to school.com/outlier. Why don't you say that? School.com/outlier. You can go to that and use that as a place. So I have mechanisms in place, but I haven't actually built the actual invite flow yet, and that's what like chat's pulling up here. It's like that tension that you're feeling is because of that. So the live streaming feels like wasted time because there's no capture mechanism, no call to action, no pipeline attached. And good news, we can build a functional version in 15 minutes and use it today. I love that, by the way. When I saw this, like we can build a functional version in 15 minutes, I was like, like maybe this huge thing that I had in my mind could be solved in 15. Like let's go for it. So here goes where it said here, and I'm giving you all a little bit of the background, and then I'm gonna like dive into it. So it said, what we should do today, the exact plan: go live, but do it differently. Title it like "Building My Movement in Public." Live invites, live outreach, live decisions, and then literally say on camera. And I'm gonna say this here: Hey, I'm building this in real time. If you want to be a part of the early Outliers Edge movement, comment the word Edge or DM me Edge, and I'll send you the invite. I like that, by the way. I will play with like, hey, if you're really feeling this here, like put a 1 in the comments or put an Edge in the comments. I've never done that before, and I think I've seen other people do that. It's time to do that. And if you're watching right now, if you can, this is something that's actually really important for me. I don't know how comments work on this platform that I have. So if you can just leave a comment of anything, it could just be even just a letter. I just need to make sure that I can actually see them because I am right now I'm not seeing anything, and that's I don't know. You might be sending me something. I just don't know. So if you can send me one of them, that would be really awesome. All right, cool. Um, that will help me just like test and make sure that I haven't missed something with what the software offers. All right, so back to it. So I'm going to try and read through this fairly quickly here, but it's like go live, build the movement in public. Literally say I'm building this in real time. DM me, comment this, and I'll send you the invite, which I will do. I'll actually get a many chat set up so that when people like type in the word movement or edge or something like that, it will automatically be able to send them. That'll be really cool. All right. I didn't know that before this. Like, this is fun. This is why I chose the 10K minutes live, because it's like, It's like, oh, as I'm doing this, like, oh, how do I make this easier? What is the actual problem? Right now, do the outreach live on the stream. People actually love it. It creates social proof, transparency, momentum, demonstration of the system. You literally open your DM list. You literally open your email, pull up the cold leads, send the 10 invites live, narrate it out loud, and it becomes both content and client creation. Now, this is something that's wild to me. I have like it makes me like it gives me sweaty palms. I'll be honest. Like I'm still like talking about the process than trying to do the process because it makes me that much more comfortable. But the components of this here is it gets to it. I've watched someone come in and now this person has now gone on and they run a cold calling business, and like I'll just see like it just be like live content where it's just like what like I'm gonna go live until we make $1,000 today. And what they do is that they open up their system, they use all their products, and they just go make $1,000. They're like, and it's calls, there's missed dials, there's okay, let me go do some research on things. And so he's actually just doing the work, leveraging the system that he has. And you stay on and watch until he makes makes the $1,000. And so I know that I've watched it, which feels really good, but it's so much easier to be a spectator than it is to go and do it yourself. But this is why I'm doing it. This is why I'm even noticing my ums, by the way. So I hear myself. This is why I have chosen to do the 10K live because it's forcing me to do something different in like all the right ways, right? It's I cannot stay complacent. I cannot stay safe because I've set a goal that if I have any chance of making like requires me to do something differently. What's a goal that you have right now that would require you to do something different? And if you're finding that you haven't set a goal that actually like really has you change things around, like see what would happen if you decided to I'm gonna say like 100 or even 1,000 exit, right? Like, and I really mean it. Like, you have to like stretch it. There's like I could do 100 minutes of live streaming. I could do 1,000 minutes of live streaming, by the end of the year. Like, not hard, but getting 10,000, it's like how in 6 weeks with 2 weeks off, like how? And Thanksgiving's coming up, how? My kids are home, how? And so like this is part of the how. It's like oh well, then, like, maybe you don't get to play it safe and just do one thing or the other because you still have to go create clients, right? And that's one of the things I love. I love this stuff because when we find these intersections of opportunities, when we are able interlock and find the components of multiple dimensions that we're trying to get, or multiple goals that we're trying to have take place at the same time, we actually get a chance to come up with solutions that we wouldn't have seen or like step into higher levels than we would have played because the whole way of thinking gets broken. And then you go through the day and you start asking, or you go and you use your AI tool to start asking and see how you can get different things. Or you come inside of the Outliers Edge movement and you ask some of your peers in there and be like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. And we challenge your thinking together, right? Like I love to look at implementation, I like to get things done out there. And I'm not like, and it's just because I'm like, oh, your movement, like the thing that you stand for is so important. Like, how do we actually make sure that that comes out to life? So go ahead and I'm gonna do this a couple different times. So play with me here. I've recognized that it's not repetition, but iteration is like the key to growth. And you'll notice with me that I try and compound the iteration as tightly and as quickly as I can. So you're going to see a lot of volume happen a lot of times in a lot of different ways. I'm letting you know that like this is the process. This is why all these things are happening. 10,000 minutes is not it's not about content. It's about I need to like learn. I'm microwaving the period of time that it takes to be able to like cook up a system that works for me to create impact out in the world, marketing out in the world, client creation out in the world, learn like leadership out from like all those things all at the same time. So my ask here is like if anything's send me a one word right now of what is if you had to describe how like what you're thinking or what you're taking away from this. If you had to describe it in one word, go ahead and put it in here. Now your outliers, like feel free, break all the rules. You can you can send more messages. You can make it longer than that. But go ahead and just leave that in the comment. Again, I'm trying to just make sure that this thing even even sends things out. So let me know and we'll figure it out. Oh, I just noticed here that if you're on, it looks like I can only read things from Facebook and and LinkedIn, for example. Like I didn't know that. So another minute, I've learned something new, and so appreciative of you. I'm appreciative of all of you here. All right, cool. Send a message send a comment with one of the things that you're picking up so far for you. All right, so let's keep going in. So the idea here is invite live people live into the conversation. If you're watching, want to real coaching and want to talk through your next step in business, here's a link. Jump in with me. We don't need a topic or a curriculum. You just need someone else in the room, which is true. It knows me. This is fun part. Like it knows me. Like I actually don't need any of this stuff. I just need someone to like. If there's someone here that I'm talking to, we're good. And I've set it up so that people can come on really easily. I have the links ready to set up, so on and so forth. And then it said something that was really fun for me. It was like use dead air strategically. It's like you can have dead space. It's just that dead space that is productive is a feature, not a bug. People love watching the real work. This is how you feel it. Review your pipeline. Send a couple of emails or DMs. React to your own insights. Talk through a decision. Invite again and narrate what you're thinking. This is what will build your authority more than polished thought leadership. I think that's it. Like, it's really real. Like, it's not lost on me that like most people who will end up becoming like partners, clients, that will build business relationships with. Most of them will never see this video. Most of them will never see it, and that to me becomes really freeing when I think about it from that perspective. My fear is that right now everyone's going to watch it, and then they'll be like, "This guy doesn't even know what he's doing. Look at him, just trying to figure this out in real time." And like if only that was the case. Like I'm like, oh, I would love to have that problem. I would love to have the problem that too many people are watching me here, right? So that sounds awesome. And then they said, what to avoid today. Avoid these traps. Avoid solo monologues with no audience interaction. Teaching content unless someone asks. I love that. So it's Brandon Atkinson. He was the head of people when I was working at AppNexus, and he would often say, generally speaking, it's like we want to find the like pull versus push. And what he was saying was that it's like pay attention, like to listen to what the AppNexians, what the employees were asking for. Where were the actual bottlenecks and problems and desires, and like lean into that. Like lean into their response as opposed to sitting on your own on a people team, which is like traditional HR. Well, traditionally maybe called HR. It was not traditional HR. I'll tell you that. He built something special. The 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 components of it being like rather than trying to push out your agenda to people, like wait and see what someone's asking for and then respond to that, right? I thought that was that like I read this, I'm like, I get that. I get that. I can go create content out there. I can go create thought leadership. But if no one's following, then there's no leadership being done, right? Other things to avoid for me. Avoid hiding behind frameworks, avoid preparing, and avoid going quiet in private while pretending to be live. You must do the work live, not work on your work, right? And then it was basically broke down today. You're in this first block right now. I'm literally doing right now. It could be 3 to 4 hours. It might be longer. Who knows? Yeah, I think there's gonna be like a chunk that's be about 3 hours. But first 20 minutes, warm up. Tell them what we're doing. Explain the movement and invite people. So let me do that last part right now. Last two parts, right? The Outliers Edge movement is a place where I've gathered all the outliers that I've met in life into one space where we can continue to work and build each other up as we lead the change that we're on this planet to lead. And underneath that, we also look to make sure we build the engines that sustain it. Like I've just seen too many people, myself included, who've been taken out of the game because they weren't able to create the revenue to support it, or they weren't able to create a way for the business to work without them. And while it looked good and looks good on paper, they're bored, they're tired, they're stressed out, and they're feeling trapped because they know that if they ever walked away from their business, whether it's making $1 million or it's making 100K, like they're like the whole thing will fall apart, right? And my general thing is like I just think outliers are the only people who can actually change the world, really, because they live outside of the status quo. And so it's not an extra bit of courage for them. It's just like, or for you, it's not an extra bit of courage. It's just living your life, right? It's like, oh, this is just how I do it. I go live. I talk. I don't mind people seeing me working my stuff out. The challenge is that I like when I try and think about it from what other people typically do or what I think is like okay, that's when I get into like that's when I start like slowing myself down. And so this movement, it's a place where it's just like we have a saying in our group. We call it "It's just a Tuesday." which is like you can come do incredible things. And rather than having people be like totally in awe and be like, how do you do it? I can never do it like that. You got to be supported by, surrounded by other people who are also up to big things. Like, oh yeah, I remember doing that. Yeah, let me tell you what I've learned, or even better, they ask questions, they get curious, they hold you to account, not accountable, but account. And to me, the difference there is like they we take the time to get to know you and what you really stand for in the world and what you know you are capable of, and we hold you to that. Whether or not you do the task you said or not important to us, but like how you show up and are you being in alignment with that? That is. All right, cool. So let's come back to here. So I recommended doing. I forgot to do the invite. See, I'm like, this is it. Like, I'm literally gonna just keep playing out loud here. So if this is something that talked to you, the element of the movement, the element of not having to be alone, even though you're an outlier, like if that's calling to you, like my ask is that I want to invite you. I want to make sure like we have like the world's greatest party happening inside of the Outliers Edge movement, right? You can get to it by using your phone and just using the QR code right on the upper left hand side of the screen. It says join the movement. Come join us there. Or you can go to school.com/outlier. And that will take you right to our page. You can start. The membership is free. There are other things that we do. If you want to come and join us for other higher levels, you absolutely can. But like this is what we're doing. We're here in real time, like challenging our thinking and being in a place where like that you're surrounded by others who are in action, who are also very mission driven and beyond. All right. So and we don't mind messing up. You get to see the real of it all. And that's what's happening here today. So you use the QR code to come and join us, and I'll let you know more about like where things sit right now. So we're in the first block right now of just setting up today's live stream, and then it's going to be just time for me to just go do work. And this is the part that really scares me. It's not the work doing overall, but it's like I have to figure out what I'm doing, you know. And I've been afraid of doing live outreach, DMs, inbox, sending out invites. I've been afraid of doing that to invite people into the movement for a while, and I think today's the day that we get to break through it. Um, and then there's just like for me, I look at this stuff here, like the jumping coaching. If anyone joins, coach them. If not, continue outreach, the proof session, talk through the insights, and then keep going back and saying, hey, this is the invite that I'm inviting people to, and repeat it until we get done. All right. This to me is just like it's going to happen interspersed throughout. It's going to happen all the way through. It's going to just keep going in and out, and I'm just going to keep working it. So this is the last thing here. If you're just joining, I want to make sure that like this part right now. I'm reading off some of what ChatGPT shared with me when it came to just really getting into doing this live stream differently and actually doing the work of it all. So this is the last bit of it all. It talked about making me visible and getting to it all. All right. And I said it right here. Oh my, this scares me so much. I feel it's so boring. And it said something that made me smile. I said, you finally found the right edge. Let me show you exactly why this feels boring. It's not a reason to avoid it, but actually is a sign that this is the highest leverage move you can make right now. And then all this other stuff that was just like, words that lifted me up and said, okay, cool. But like, I'll stop sharing this right now. But this is, I wanted to make sure that we got into this space with me being real about this. And my ask here is, as we go along, keep making comments, keep sending me things. I want to know, like I said to you, I want to know if this the comment can just be like, let me know if you can even hear me. Like I did a live stream yesterday and ended up not going mute. So just go ahead and just like type a 1 or like anything that just lets me know that I can. How do I say it? That's yeah, that this is live. That's that's kind of what I'm looking for. All right, so that would just do me a huge favor if you ended up doing that. Thanks. All right, cool. So I think now we set things up. We'd love to see you inside of the movement here. I'm so tempted to just be like, let's end the live stream here, and then I'm going to go do some work and then come back in. What I'll do right now is we're gonna get into it. So I don't have like a list of things that I need to get done. It's like usually what happens is that I try and do project management from two different perspectives. Sometimes I'll go and see the entire the entire project, think about all the deadlines and everything like that, which is like the traditional project management style, and then write out each task and then start working on each of them. That one always feels really good, but then oftentimes feels overwhelming because I made up what needed to get done kind of in isolation as opposed to like seeing what was actually being called for. The other style of it is more agile. I don't like I'm not a scrum master, so I don't know if I'm not doing it perfectly right, but there's a component of like just getting into it and then going and building from there. So I'm more on the latter side of things. And like at this point, I can feel inside of me that I want to perform. I want to be able to show you a list of what I need to get done and then go for it. But I actually don't know what that list is. And so why don't we do this then? Why don't I go and create a bit of that list? So I'm going to brainstorm a bit here. You're going to see me in real time trying to do it. It's odd. I'm noticing how uh like even just talking it out loud and such is there's a lot behind it. It's I'm not thinking as much. So I'm gonna go brainstorm for a bit here. I'll share my screen with you so you can see what I am doing. And sometimes I'll just actually brainstorm this out with ChatGPT instead of just on my own. But let's go ahead and share the screen again. All right, cool. And so I'm just gonna like so with me here, you're gonna see all the stuff. I can actually feel like my hands feel dry, but like I'm like so I'm like they're gonna see how how I just make this up and it ain't pretty. So welcome to the messiness. Gosh, sorry, y'all. I'm thinking about this and just feeling like how free am I gonna be? Like, because what you're also seeing is like I'm growing in real time with you. So how free am I going to be on the other side of this, where like I can easily just pop open something and either start sharing or start doing something with it in real time. All right. So let's go off here. I'll go through the process that I tend to do with this here. Go ahead and if you have any questions, go ahead and leave a message in the comments. If you have anything that resonates with you, just or if you just want to say hi, like let me know. Let me know that. I'm gonna spend some time on the docs for now. So what I want to start off here is really just get into like what's the real goal? You know, what's the real goal right now? And so what I find here, my goal is if I look at this overall, it's always to like I find that trying to go straight for revenue or have like that be my outcome goal has been very draining and like it's just not the right move for me. But what I do realize overall is that I like proposals end up being like the right thing for me. So as much as I'm playing a 10K live game right now, I'm also playing another game of four proposals a day. Right. And the proposals for me come in from the standpoint of like these are like my like one-on-one or like premium coaching clients or coaching groups. Right. So that's what I want to be able to make four good proposals a day. In order to do that, now I'm not going to go through all the math part of it right now, but math is a part of this. Like, so what you're seeing right now is like I'm like, what am I actually trying to get to? I have a financial number in mind, but it's more like I just want this engine to work. I just want to be able to know I could like have four proposals a day every day, and so you're going to see all the way of like how like I'm going to take you back through how every step of what I'm doing leads from this live stream leads to revenue overall, right? And yeah, like a part of me is like, oh, I hope that doesn't feel gross to y'all, but at the same time, like this is what it is, right? It's a movement and it needs to fund itself. It's a bootstrap movement is the way I'm looking at it. So we have four proposals a day. So it's let's just say a client a day every day is a fun goal. All right. To get to that, we have four proposals a day that are necessary. All right, and I'll explain that a little bit more. I am now at the place where I tend to make like sometimes the people who come in they're just not like the right fit, right? So let's say for now that I'm able to filter them pretty well. That might be like five conversations, like five proposal conversations are being done. is what's I need to have like 5 proposal conversations in order to get those five proposals done. Um, and then essentially that typically would mean that like let's just say like I need to have five like proposals or coaching conversations on the calendar, right? And this is like for actually moving forward, right? So I'm looking at this here, and in order to get those conversations each day going on, I have oh, okay. I think if I'm going to walk you all through this, I actually do know this front to back. So let me explain it to you the front ways, and then I'll work it backwards, right? So this is back to front, right? Let me show you the front to back. That way you can that like this. It's going to make more sense from like the client creation journey, right? And if I need to, let me zoom in a bit here. Maybe that'll be easier to read. Client creation journey. Let me know if any of this is helpful along the way. So for me here, like we have the engine. The engine starts off with like. All right, let me pull out the different flows that I have. I wasn't expecting to do this, but like let's play it out. So I have my existing flow. All right, this is what I've been doing so far, and that has been cold email outreach to invite people onto my Outliers Edge roundtables. And then when they sign up for the roundtables right afterwards, and I can show you this if any of you are interested, you can just go ahead and leave a message, and I'll show it over to you. Just leave a comment. I'll go and put it on the screen. I'm not looking at the comments just yet, so if you want me to show you that, just make sure you're like, can you show me your cold email process, and I'll be happy to share my screen on that. So they go to the cold email, they sign up for the podcast. The very next page, it redirects them to a page where they can sign up for a one-on-one coaching roadmap experience with me. This is something that I meet with them one-on-one. So basically, this is a calendar they go to, and then right afterwards, it immediately takes them to another calendar. And this is fun because like if you've been on the podcast, you've gone through this exact process, and then afterwards they choose a time or they don't, and then they sign up for they get an invitation invite to the Outliers Edge school group, right? That's the movement. And that's what I have. If you look at the QR code overview, that's what I'm inviting you all to as well. So you can go to outlets outliers at school.com/outlier. I have other links to it all, right? But that's it. So that's where it comes in. And it's during the one-on-one roadmap ends up leading to me having a proposal, and then from there, they go yes or no. All right. When they get into the school group, and this, I don't want to call it a school group, I'll call it the OE movement, because that's like I'm also trying to. It's like I have to make it real inside of me first. I'm over here rubbing my just like I need to what's going on, but the I have to make it real inside of me before it can be real outside there, right? And so once they join the movement or the Outliers Edge group on school, everyone comes in and gets a one-on-one orientation. The roadmap is like an actual like coaching session. So this is 30 minutes to an hour, depending on really my availability and what's happening at that time. Sometimes I'm like, oh, you know what? There's a lot of people interested. Like we got a half hour, and we're going right to the middle of it. Other times I'm like, I have time, so I leave an hour space in there. Well, chances are in the long run this will be a half hour, because I'm going to get this engine really rolling. All right, I'm gonna take some. Let me know if this is helpful for you. If it's helpful, just go ahead and leave a comment. It's like, hey, like I'm glad to see how you're thinking through this, how you're approaching it. This is also helpful for me to like, I guess like not hide is really it. It's not hide. All right. So we have the Outliers Edge movement, which is the school group, and then we have a one-on-one orientation that takes place. During the orientation, people get a chance to upgrade from free to paid. To our basically, I'm going to rephrase that. It's from our movement level to our guild level. I can't use that same arrows there. Upgrade, it doesn't feel right. Is it ascend? I think it's level up. I think that's what really feels good. People get a chance to level up and come and join us for either on a month-to-month basis or an annual basis. Right now, I have it going at $99 a month if they want to level up, or I'm doing a special found-in member element. I know, like basically until we have 500 people, we're at like 450 right now. So I figure I can do this for at least another 50 people here. But we have it as you buy 5 months, you prepay 5 months, and you get a whole year from it, all right? And so you get 7 months free. So it's $4.99 for the entire year, all right? That's what it is as of the time of this live stream. And so but yeah, and then so we have the one-on-one orientation, and then in between this, like other part with the school movement is, or the Outliers Edge movement is the live stream itself, right? And so the live stream is set up in a way where this is how I deliver for the free level. What is that like? What does that mean? Trying to see if hopefully this all makes sense, because it's just how I'm trying to make sure this all comes together. So if I go to school.com/outliers/plans, right? So this is like, these are different ways that people can come and join us. We have a $0, we have a $99, we have $1,000 a month, right? And each of them right now I'm giving something where they get some additional stuff. If you decide to join, you can get it for different amounts, right? So the what I'm doing right now is that I have to add this into this space. Maybe I'll just do this while we're talking. Let me just go and change it while we're talking. But the lives, like for $0 a month, you get these live sessions and you get to come on live with me. Right. And so this, like, what that means is that anyone that's coming into the standard tier, I can't rename it, but it's my movement level tier. Like, we get to do these live streams together, and they get to be focused. They get to be part of the focus. Oh, you can't see my screen on this yet, can you? All right, hold on. Let me show you. Hold on. Let me pull this up here. So showing all right, so I'm going to share this tab instead. All right, cool. So I keep talking about the movement, but I haven't actually showed anyone what it is. So this is the Outliers Edge movement. This is where we are. We have 449 people that are part of it here. We go live every day. We have our discussion areas. We have our classrooms with different classes in there. We actually give people that this whole process that I shared earlier with the cold email, the podcast, the one-on-one calendar, all that stuff there. I actually give that to every single person who joins, and joins the premium level, so that you get to actually download this and immediately put it into your business and have people go through that process. That way you have all like the emails and the follow-ups and all the other robust ecosystems that come with it. So it has a calendar as well, so you can see like what we're doing and when we're doing it. You get to know the different members and where they are in the world. And then we have different games related to participation and leaders and the leaderboards associated with it. All right, cool. So with that being said, what I want to show you though that I was talking about is that in here we have 3 different tiers, and the live streaming is the way I'm looking at it, is that live streaming is my delivery vehicle for the free tier. Right, well, or the $0 a month tier, whatever it is, whatever the standard tier is, that's what my live streaming is. And then the other tiers are more private, right? And so there's different things that come along with that. But I felt really good. I'm gonna come back to here. I felt really good about this as an overall plan, and it was something let me actually come and talk to y'all for a little bit. I kind of want to talk about like why I chose to do it this way. So right now I'm explaining I want you to get to know like what is the flow that is here. And it goes back to the intersection of opportunity. And so if I look at what I have for this, it's like, by allowing the Outliers Edge movement to fuel and like to be delivery for the free level via like the live stream, what that ends up doing is that it gives me a chance to be able to like know that I can like know that I can spend time on the live stream and go meet new people and so on and so forth, but also make sure that I'm not like, again, coming up with content that I'm just making up. It gives me that chance to be able to respond to people in real time. It gives an extra benefit for someone to not just be a viewer watching the stream, but actually to be actively a member inside of the space. And because I'm able to address their problems. I'm able to bring them onto the platform, and work with them. And so that was the intention of this year, to not so that I want to make sure I'm stating this right. This is helpful for me to get a chance to play this out. We do this inside of the movement, which is like, we're leading things that people haven't seen before. Right. And most other places we go to, we're expected to have everything polished, ready to go, and so forth. But it's kind of hard to know what the end state is if you're making it up for the first time. And I'm going to use the word making it up because that's true. That's a revision. Like the fact that you can hear me on a microphone or through live stream is because someone decided to make it up. They're like, what if we could do this? And then he did it. So the the components of this is, I actually look at this, and this is part of what started this whole thing of like, where should I be focusing my time. I look at this as the live streams as, I'm actually delivering for the people who have signed up and have said, I'm a part of this Outliers Edge movement. I'm delivering this live stream for them and making that public for anyone else to come in. But it is actually a level of service that I have. It's part of why you're seeing behind the scenes up here. That's why I'm not like holding back with everything. I'm not just like trying to create the content. I'm like, no, this is it. They're my clients, but like, we're also our members, and we're also our partners, and our we're in this movement together, and so on and so forth. So I'm trying to look at this. I'm really allowing myself to say, rather than holding back on what I give out for free, like, how can I continue to find ways to leverage it so that I can give it out in a really meaningful way? And so this ends up being the delivery vehicle. The live streams end up being a delivery vehicle for the standard. Can you just like let me know if that made sense, by the way, to you? Does that make sense where I was coming from? Cool. Here, I saw a message here from June. June saying, it's really awesome hearing you loud and clear. Thank you, June. That's fantastic. Thanks for putting that in here. And June, you're my first official comment here. Well, now I wish there's another tool I was looking at that had like sounds and everything. Oh, this does have sounds, but I had like small, like little sounds like play like "Bow, bow, bow, bow," like that. So I have to go find some of that. But I'm celebrating you, and I'm grateful for you. Thank you so much for putting in, like, sending a message, letting us know you're here. All right. All right, cool. So the component of the live stream, it's really fun because it's like, I am trying to make sure I can state this because I think it's important. Um, there's a it's the importance here is the intersection of opportunity, and yeah, if but if it's coming through it, if it's making sense, and it's already making sense, I don't want to over belabor it, but like, this is my I'm choosing to serve the movement publicly, and continue to serve those who are on it through the live stream. So that's it. That also gives me space then to like not feel guilty about how much time I'm spending on it, or like where things are. I'm like, no, I can actually just go through and spend time with people doing live coaching. So like, for movement members, and this is something that like I couldn't do like beforehand. Like when I was having when I was having one-on-one, when I have one-on-one coaching clients, like, it's a private space, right? That space is just for them. And so we would do great work, but like and but that was it. Like it was that conversation had to stay in its own space. What I really love about this is that now I can go out here and I can invite people on, and I can do one-on-one coaching with people. And that's like, I'm serving them in a way that's free, but I'm still getting paid, quote unquote, and you can get paid in many different ways. But I'm getting paid in the sustainability of this engine, because what happens after all of this live stream stuff is that we go and deliver, but then we go and we repurpose it, right? So repurposing, let's like, when I talk about repurposing, for me, that is, like, how many different ways can we get this out into the world afterwards? So I'm not just live streaming. That would just be like, minutes gone here and gone. Instead, we're actually creating this in such a way that people can come in, watch the live stream, like the thought leadership is being made, in real time. I get it. Like, I talk about like getting a bite of the apple, so people get it. Like they get to see it as it's being made. I got to talk to you all directly. I got to see your comments, see where you're struggling to understand. I can reshape things so it actually ends up making the I don't like the word content. I feel like I get content if I do content, but it makes the thought leadership that much sharper, right? And it also brings me into focus. Like there's no way that I would be showing you the inside of this process and typing it out and such, with the idea that I had when I first came into this space. That wasn't the plan. The plan at that point was just for me to talk to you. But now we're actually going through what is my engine, and then showing how I'm going to use, like, with the rest of the day, how I'm going to continue to build this out even further. All right. Oh, this is exciting stuff. So hopefully, let me know if it's too much. No, but yeah, it is what it is. So then we repurpose it, and I'm working right now with my team to go and take everything that we do and turn it into, into blog posts, into social posts, into conversation starters for our school group. You know, it we're creating uh, different clips and quotes and emails. My emails actually come from this. I love doing that, y'all. Like, I love using AI to come in and say, like, okay, what happened here? Take the transcript of this conversation and put it into into our structure basically how we add value to people in a meaningful way. And so this all has its own engine. I wish I was if I was on like Miro or something, I'll have it kind of like showing you the arrows of how it all leads to each other. I actually built this whole long ecosystem before to try and get people to understand it. And nowadays, we'll just go with what we need to go with, right? So um, this is where things really get to play, and we got to like keep jumping on from that. So now, as we go through this is what I'm building for. And so we have this was the existing model, right? Um, I would say this. If I look at this right now, the existing model, this is what I'm building right now. What I'm building now. So the existing model basically had this, and if I'm being honest with you all, it had a school group, right, which was called the Outliers Edge Guild. And it was basically a dead group. If I'm being really honest, like, so just like nothing happened from there, right? But they got an invitation to come and join it in that. Part of what ended up part of what ended up slowing it down was that I couldn't figure out. I got caught like there was like it worked well when I was bringing people in, when I was inviting guests in for free. Then it stopped working when I like put on a pay barrier. I was like, hey, you have to come pay to come get in. And then the tool I was using in school only allowed for free trials. So I tried doing a free trial, but then that ended up being kind of murky, and just really cumbersome. And now I can just go back to the place of just like allowing people in free. All right. So I'm going to take some of this here and say, okay, what am I building now? Interestingly enough, right? Uh, what I'm building now is still very much the same, but now it's the podcast. The podcast used to be delivered uh, via Zoom, and so I would record it there, and I do panels, so I would have 4 to 5 people on a panel with me, or let's say 3 to 5, just to be. You have 3 to 5 people on a panel with me. I'll record at least 2 hours a day, 2 hours a week. Yeah, 2 hours a day. Right. Hopefully, this is not getting too dense in terms of the words, but this is kind of this is the ecosystem that I have been building, right? And so we did do that. I recorded it live. Sorry, I recorded it via Zoom, and then my team came and repurposed it everywhere else it needed, where repurposed it where it needed to be. And in particular, they created release kits for the guests. And so what that ended up being was like what clips, My team is awesome at this. So clips, images, social media, like prompts, so they can just get for easy sharing, um, and such, right? And then we would also, that was basically it. That was really the repurposing. That was it. So we had plans to do other things with it, but that was it. We were able to repurpose some coaching calls, um, or we had some like live we had some live sessions in the school group for a while, and so we were able to repurpose those into emails. All right, cool. So now, why am I sharing like what was the existing process beforehand and now? The part of the reason I'm doing that is because I really want to make it clear, like as I'm doing this, this is what you're seeing right now is just an evolution of what we've already been doing. This is not like I'm not trying to recreate the wheel. I'm just changing like where we're delivering at. So like I'm still like I have multiple ways into my world now. So like flow one is through the cold email. So we still have cold email, like let's just call it, yeah, cold email slash outreach, right? I'm now getting inbound, by the way. Like it's really cool. Like I'm sitting there and people are just like sending me messages like, hey, this person would love to come on your podcast. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like I used to have to go reach out for that. Like I'm glad, yeah, I'll say yes. And then like I have to learn what it's like to have inbound coming through and making sure I'm getting the right people on. So we have like the cold email outreach inbound, where people are like, hey, can I be on your podcast? Um, Now instead of like the podcast, it's still a podcast, but like I call it a podcast round, like they'll call it the roundtable podcast. And now instead of what I'm looking at is making it the roundtable live, right? And so they still book times on the calendar. They're still going to go through that. They're going to get through all the same kind of preparation of like what the conversation would be like. But now instead of doing it just on Zoom and then coming out and sharing it with people, what we're doing is that we are bringing people directly into this live sessions. I would likely be live already, and just like we'll just come on, and like we'll just invite them to come be a part of it all. So, what does that mean? Let me say that a little bit differently. We're going to have the same conversations we would have before. But this time, it is possible for members of Outliers Edge, as well as any audience member, to leave comments, ask questions, so on and so forth. I'm really excited for that because one, again, it's biting the apple once again. Like we get a chance to create an event out of it rather than it just being like a release. It's almost like if you think about a movie doesn't just come out and say, by the way, like this movie's in the movie theater, come watch it right now. It's like they let you know that something's coming. They get you squared away for something that's they get you excited for what's coming next. They give you different teasers and clips along the way, and then eventually you go watch the movie, and then hopefully it's as good as it all looked like, right? There's something here with the live streaming element that I think we can do that. We can do that. It's like, hey, like we're gonna go. We've been invited to come on here. Like, I'm gonna be asked to go share my thoughts and play in this roundtable with people. Come join us live. All right, great. The event happened, and then afterwards, it's like, oh, now we have. Then we're gonna repurpose to the podcast, and then that will be the ongoing thing. So what does that mean here, right? So hopefully this is not too much text for you. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try and I did like, see, and this is why I have to go live because now I'm like, oh, okay. There was Google Docs that I was using, and that works for me. But does it work for other people? Is it too much? There's too much going on right now, and so we're gonna play with that overall. Um, yeah, we're gonna play with that. And so we have the roundtable live. I have there's something that's on it that I want to just click on and see. All right, cool. So I've also decided that we can go ahead and we can share like different views, different things that are going on, like different real time comments. So this is going to be something I'm going to play with in the future too. Hopefully, it's not too busy on the screen, but we'll make that happen. All right, cool. I just need to know what it would look like. All right. So we are now going. It used to be and yeah, I'll try and turn this into something like an easy graphic. I think this is like a simple table will probably make this so much easier than what I'm doing. But now we're going cold email. We're going to invite them into the roundtable live, right? They're still going to book a calendar appointment. They're still going to get invited to the one-on-one roadmap coaching if you come onto the podcast first, and then they're still going to get invited into the Outliers Ed school group / movement. All right, so that all is taking place. That's still happening, which is fun. So all that's happened is that we're now delivering live. And one of the benefits of live is that I get to do fun things where I get to change the screen around, make it like, while the people are there, we can have different levels of people. Like, you're seeing me, if you're watching this, you can see me click around on the screen and do different things. Oh, I kind of like this method. I think this might be a little bit easier for people to see. Yeah, I have it over to the side, but I think this is the best one for now. So and it has our branding behind it, and it just makes it just becomes so much easier. is what I'm feeling. So I'm really excited for that. I think we're gonna have a really good time with it. But like, note the key here for me is that what already existed, what we were doing, and what I'm building now, especially with the first flow, I'm not breaking it. I'm just doing it in a place that gives me higher leverage. So I want you to think for yourself right now about something right now that you're trying to get done. Maybe you're ready to go to the next level on it, or you're ready to level up in some way. In what way are you able to take what you're doing and make us make a significant change, but in a very concentrated or like high leverage way? For me, just like inviting people onto the live table, onto the round table, is like it was so simple to do. No, you're going to see it, right? We have the round table, we have the one-on-one coaching, and we have the school group there. But just now, instead of it being dead, right? Instead of it being dead, we now have the they come into the movement. This is what I would say is kind of like flow two, by the way. And this is there's something here that I'm trying to like articulate properly, but I have a system in place where I'm just going to consistently get new people onto the roundtable, and you're going to see them come onto the podcast. This part right here, this flow two, this is what I'm actually focused on for today. This is the real behind the scenes stuff. Like, this is what Niiamah needs to get together, or Niiamah and the team need to get together. So this is the part that's really different. There's some things I got to do with, like, making some videos for the roundtable live. I'll do that when I'm not already on another video. But this is really where it all comes in, and so it's really getting into the place of how do we get. I'll say this is like the podcast flow. That's the podcast flow, and this flow two is the movement live stream flow. Right. That's what I'm working on. So I feel like I need to, as we're talking, I'm cleaning up this a little bit here, just to try and make it a little bit like easier to understand, because there's some components of this that are, this is what we're doing live, like, sorry, this is what we're doing to get like people in the door, and this is like how do we actually create clients and members, like, so how do we create revenue, right? um and so that's, I think this is this is going to be a cleaner way of describing it. So if I was going to say like what I'm building now, this part over here is like, how do we get people in the door? This is about traffic flows, right? The existing is this here. Yep, perfect. Thank you all for playing this with me. And this is called this is the podcast flow. All right, so they come in to get cold email, go to the round table, they go to the one-on-one coaching, and then they get to the school group, and then um, this is kind of like how we get clients from it. It's the one-on-one roadmap. Yeah, I'll move this over to someplace. So yeah, the one-on-one. Yeah, there we go. So how do we create revenue? We have the one-on-one coaching session. that leads to a proposal, and then it leads to a yes or no. We also have the Outliers Edge movement, which leads to one-on-one orientation, where they can go and choose to level up with us there. And then based on the level that you're currently playing, so typically if you're coming in through the movement, I like to see what you're actually doing, what is your impact all about, and what level of business are you at. Typically we reserve it for people who are making at least I want to say a tenth of a million, so 100K in their business before we invite them to come and play at some of the levels beyond the level beyond the guild level, right? And so if that happens there, if they qualify for that conversation, we have the one-on-one roadmap is available for them. All right. I'll put it in here for qualified people who meet. I don't know. Let's say the qualified is not like, are you qualified as a person, or just like in more of like the uh I have to find another word of it. Like when I say it out loud, I'm like, oh, I don't like it. And I have one of my coaches, his name's Rich Liffin. He talks about if there's any part of your client creation journey that doesn't feel good, that you wouldn't want someone to listen into, or feel, and they wouldn't feel good about it, it's like then change the language, you know. And so I'm like, qualified, not qualified, does not feel good to me. I wouldn't want someone to be like, oh, he said I was not qualified, and so I'll figure that out with y'all in a bit. Oh, this is fun. I've been hitting like my first like hour and 10 minutes, and I'm like, ooh, I can feel my energy shifting inside. I can feel myself being like, okay, and maybe it's because I'm typing a lot more or what, but I can feel like my energy is like drifting low. I'm like, oh, maybe I just need something to drink. You know, I got some. My favorite is the passion fruit orange guava here, and so I'm gonna drink a little bit of that. It's not sponsored, not an ad. It's just my life. Oh, this is fun. I think this is part of the reason why I wanted to make sure I was like, I knew I can talk, but I get energy from interacting with people. I get energy from things coming back in. So this is helpful to go through, see it, and continue building. All right. So where were we? All right. So this is how do we create revenue? We have one-on-one roadmap calls that take place. And then if you're I'll just kind of leave it a little bit closer here. So this is one-on-one roadmap things. This is for our premium. I can't use premium anymore. This is for one-on-one. I don't know how to say it, but like there's two different levels. There's um, these proposals are, you know, five figures and more, four or five figures, and these ones are in the hundreds, right? And so that's it. So this is really like how we create our revenue, and this is all we do. And in the meantime, like we have this is how we serve. If I was going to say, if I'm going to be honest, this is traffic and service, right? How do we create our revenue? And this is the conversion parts of it all. Okay, so that's it. Oof. Sorry, it took a while to explain all that. It's not as complicated as what I'm making out to see. I could probably use someone on my team to break this down into a very simple meat like graphic, right? But we've been doing a podcast flow of going people from cold email to come onto the roundtable podcast, where it's a group of 4 to 5 people. They book that using a calendar. As soon as they book that calendar, they get redirected to the roadmap coaching area, which is another calendar. And this is really important. Like if you're listening to this and you're taking anything from it, I really love that step, because a lot of times people will do one thing and they say, okay, go check out your inbox. And then once you go to the inbox, you're like inundated with everything else you have to do. Like if someone's come on and they've signed up for your lead magnet, whatever it happens to be, my lead magnet up until this point was a podcast. Like that was how I did it. If someone signed up for it, then take them through and help them like you've got their attention. They've said something to you. Like this is not the time to go back and like toss it back to the wild. It's like help them move forward. They came here for something. Help them move forward. So we redirect them immediately to the roadmap coaching page. We then go to the Outliers at School group, and from there, I want to. I realize that I've been talking about this and like there's something about the visuals that make this nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm also going to share with you what it actually looks like on our end, like the pages that they actually go to, just to make that part feel more real and less like just words on the paper. So I'm seeing that now, and I'm oh, this is fun. I'm understanding why people use like Miro boards with screenshots and all that stuff. I'm like, oh, it's because it makes sense. This is helpful for me, y'all. Like you're seeing me play it in real time, and this is it. Again, this is where the 10K minutes go. This is where trying to do this in real time becomes really helpful and real. Um, so what I'll do, and as I said, I actually, well, let me put it in here. I actually have not just the pages set up, but a lot of behind the scene things that take place as well, like email reminders, text message reminders, so on and so forth. So I'm happy to share. Anyone who ends up becoming a guild member, which is not our free level, but the level above that, or above, if anyone comes and joins us in that, they get that entire sequence, this entire thing I'm about to show you for free, just so that they can just start right away rather than having to wait up on things. Now they'll get a different variation. It was based on what I was doing at that time, but I found that keeping things nice and simple work for people. So I think I have it all set up and ready to go. So we should be good. And I can in the future I can show you what I'm doing, like kind of behind the scenes with, yeah. I'll just keep you. I'll keep it real with you. I guess is the best way I'll go. I can say it. So let me just see. Like I see Hussein had joined us earlier today. I see Nate joined us. Katie. We had the Chapters Connection Club. June and Kirsten. Like, thank you all for coming to be a part of this year. If you're here right now, go like send me a message. Leave a comment. I If you're on Instagram, it's a little bit harder for me to see you. I have to go in there, so I might be a little slower to respond on Instagram, but still leave a message. Now I'm adding it to my process to go and look into things. And if you're joining us from Facebook or LinkedIn, or YouTube, go ahead and leave a comment. We're glad that you're here. It's really fun playing with you. So you're right now, just so you know, you're seeing me go behind the scenes, and what I want to do is like I'm like, this is the work I need to get done. But I realize that my style is one to just come in and see what needs to get done, and then basically assess where we are for the day, and then build what is the next thing that's needed. Otherwise, I get overwhelmed and bogged down. So right now, I'm explaining to you all the process that we use to go and bring in clients, but I'm also thinking about this from the standpoint. The reason I'm doing this is that it also helps clarify my thinking and make sure that I am focusing on the things that matter. All right. So, and I just realized like we're going to turn this into a Miro board. I have some examples and some thoughts about exactly what this would look like. So I'm super excited about it. Oh, that's right. I said I was going to go and share with you what each of these things mean. So I said the cold email to the roundtable podcast calendar, to the roundtable coaching, to the school movement. I know exactly how I need to show this to you in the future. So that feels really good to have to actually have a process around this right now. Let's see where I can find what needs to be shared. Okay. So this should be sharing with you the process that I take people through. Yes, so you can see it. So join us for the Outliers Edge panel, podcast panel. And so I'll just walk you through. So people come in, they go and they find a time that's available for them. I actually need to update this. I'll probably do this in real time with you all later on today. Let me add that as a thing to do in my for today. Um, Let me add that to the list. 'Cause it's just a bunch of like really small things at this point now. Um, and uh, I've been trying to not get ahead of myself. And now I think we're at that place. All right. To do or to build, right? And so here it's just like update the calendar, the podcast calendar. Okay, cool. I'll talk to you about some of the things I've been thinking about with the podcast calendar time. There's just some decisions I haven't made with it. As to like, all right, when can people start? When not? You don't see anything on my screen right now. Let me go back to it, and maybe that'll bring it back up for you. Did that work? Hmm. Let me start up the. Let me replace the live stream again. And how about now? Can you see it? Ah, it's so funny. It's like hiding. It's like hiding, even though it's like right there. All right. Um, Sorry, y'all. It's not showing what I want you to see. Let's give it one more shot. We're gonna come in one more time, and if not, then I will find a different way to actually maybe we do it this way. I got y'all. I got y'all. We good. So this is the dead space that I was afraid of, right? Or not, this is not even the dead space, but this is part of like the dead space I was afraid of. Okay. All right. So I can now share this with you, and it's going to be a lot easier for you to see. Thank you for your patience. We'll do it one page at a time. All right. So you should at this point be able to see my screen here. It looks like it's not really sharing very well. So even though I just updated the screen share, it's not really doing it. I'm going to. Can you see it on the screen? Let me know. Let me know if you can. I'm not seeing it. So I'm going to basically start the screen share all over again, but it wasn't showing up on my screen. Okay, I think we're back now. Cool. So the first thing we have here is that people come in, they sign up for the podcast. They come in. It's just like just like Calendly or anything like that. They pick a time and they fill out their information on it. Um, then afterwards, we send them to another page where they this is like the immediate next step from it, right? We send them to another page and they give them we call it a jumpstart bonus, and they get a chance to block in their roadmap session. I've now have a video in front of it. In the past, I also test and make sure, like, sometimes I'll just do just the things like, hey, you come on in and they just starts right here, and it's like, hey, pick another time. Next step, schedule your session. All right. So they go and they do that, and then afterwards, they then takes them over to a place where they can start accessing the guild. And one of the things we have inside the guild, and this is another thing I need to update here, we actually like it's less about you're going to see that I'm going to change. Oh, you can't see the page yet. We have this version of the guild where we're actually talking about and getting access to the guild and start creating like the 100K breakthrough. So essentially, we've gone and transitioned from the idea of like being on the podcast to like come be a part of the guild. I actually have noticed that like I think it's too fast of a transition, and so I'm actually going to spend some time uh, revamping this page and this stuff to focus more on the podcast and the stuff that we do to support the people in the podcast and the live stream and helping them get comfortable and all that. That is inside of the Outliers Edge movement as it is. So it's still going to bring them in there, and then once they're in the movement, we will then spend the time orienting them toward like the breakthroughs and beyond. Right. So that was we had earlier. I was sharing with you about the cold email outreach and the next steps along the way and how I did it. Um, from the podcast to the run on to the school group, like that was it. And what would happen is that they would click on this, it would then go ahead and redirect them to the Outliers Edge group, and then if you're not already signed in, you can go ahead and join the group for free. So that's the process, and that's still in place, right? That's still in place, and then now we're going to deliver it live. All right, cool. This feels really good. So y'all, I'm recognizing that I'm going to take a break probably in about 7 minutes or so. We'll do about like 90 minutes now. We'll take a break. Then I'm going to come back in. The stream will still stay on. I think, but I think I'm just going to take a quick break and so I can have the longevity to keep going on. That's really good to know where my current upper limit is. Uh, now that I've shown you all that, I think I have to bring you back here to here. This is where I'm going to be working on for the rest of the day, right? And really focusing on, okay, like how do we I do need to tighten up what needs to happen with the roundtable stuff here, so that when I invite people, that will come in. But I'm not sending out any emails right now for people to come onto the roundtable as it is, and there's some parts of me that need to like actually turn off the video here so I can actually go and record it. So I'll figure that out in a bit. But what I want to make sure is that it really comes down to like the outreach and inviting people into the movement overall, and spending some time on that. So I think I'm gonna like I think what I'll do is we'll get to I need to go spend some time thinking about it, and as I'm like and as I'm recognizing as we're talking here that my brain's in two places. Like I'm trying to annotate what's happening and also just like and think through it. So what I'll probably do is say, let's let's go in. I'm seeing some messages here in the chat, so let me come and check in here. Um, okay, so I'm seeing someone saying that the LinkedIn connection isn't good. If you're on LinkedIn and you're watching this here, can you just like give a message and let me know if that's coming clearly? Um, But what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna take we're gonna come up to a pause here. I'll probably go for like another 15 minutes, and then we're gonna take about an hour or so off. Well, let's say it's an hour. And during that time, I'm gonna rejuvenate, and then I'm gonna come back potentially later on today. That will likely be the plan. But I want to go and get some things together and such. And I can imagine if my brain is buzzing, then yours is probably going too. That was, but just like I want to come back with you all and like talk. That's the game. That's the game that we're playing. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here so we can just like be with each other. That's the game that we're playing. I'm glad that I got a chance to share this all with you. Like this is I didn't realize how important that was for me. And I also recognize how long that took and how much easier this will be once I have a visual graphic of it. So I might actually spend some time just like recreating that graphic in Miro. One part of me is like, but isn't that just going to be you slowing down again and not like inviting people? But I think that it's actually part of it. I think that there's a skill set involved in that it's really about how do I take these visions that are in my head, um, and be able to communicate it so that people can come on board as quickly as possible. I think that there's something in the way that I'm currently communicating that makes it like, a 30-minute explanation. I'm like, it's not that complicated, but I haven't actually simplified it. And I can see, I know what needs to get done to make it simple. And like, once it's simple, then once I do it one time, it's going to be good forever. So I would love to see from you, like we're gonna wrap this here, but like I'd love to get any comments from you, any thoughts from you in terms of how you would apply this. What did you love about this experience here? What like yeah, just share some of your thoughts. I'm really interested, uh and I'm grateful for all of you. All right, I'm grateful. Oh, June earlier had said I was talking about how I was having like some challenges around qualified prospect and how that didn't feel good. But she said maybe there's a line, like if you're qualified, if you're instead of me saying, oh, are you qualified for this or not, maybe I can say ideal or aligned, and I'm like, all right, I'll be playing with that. Aggie, thanks for coming to join us as well. Like we're going to continue playing in this space, and if you haven't yet, I'd love to see you come and join us inside the Outliers Edge movement. As you can see, there's a lot that goes on with what we create, and what I've built this in such a way that everyone gets the benefit from what I'm learning. Like, and even now, I'm like, all right, I'm going to go live streaming, and we're going to just I'm going to keep putting in the minutes, and we're going to just get there over and over and over again, and build from that. It's exciting to me. I cherish your time. Thank you for honoring me with that. Today, this part of the conversation has been more of me just sharing behind the scenes of how I'm building, and sharing more of like what that actually looks like. It's been really cool doing it this way. I've never done it this way before. I might show my clients it, but I've definitely never let people in externally, and I'm now understanding why people do it. I'm like, just so you know, this is what we're doing, like, and now, so what's gonna happen is that we're gonna pause here. I'm gonna spend some time now that I've explained all that. I'm gonna spend some time and pull out like what needs to happen in particular. So there's a bunch of, and I'll probably come on and just try and walk through it with you again, because as I'm walking through it, I'm seeing different problems that are showing up, and that's how I like to do it. I'm just like the key for me is to make sure that we're not just doing everything, because not everything is necessary. But it's like where are we going to be running into bottlenecks? Where are we going to be running into roadblocks? Let's go fix that. And if it ain't broken, I ain't trying to fix it. If it ain't broken, I ain't trying to fix it. So I will go, like, I saw as I was walking y'all through things, that let's see what else I want to walk you through. So I'm going to share my screen again with you in just a bit. Here we go. We're back to the screen share. I'm done, but I'm like, oh, wait a minute. This was actually really helpful. So the actually really helpful part was that I went to show you, instead of talking about it, I was showing it, right? And so when I started to show you what it looked like for the process, what the process looked like, I was able to see what didn't work. So I'm going to show you again, right? So this is when they come in through the podcast process, they come in, they do this. I'm able to see what didn't work. What you don't know is that the tool I use has stats. So it tells me like where, like what, how people like move from one stage to the next. And so like I generally have, I love my hair, by the way. That's all it. It's awesome. I generally have stats where I know that, like, okay, X percent of people go from the, like, X percent of people, like 40% of people who come on who see the podcast panel page actually sign up. From there, somewhere between 30 and 40% of the people take me up on the roadmap coaching conversation. That's actually really interesting, with or without the video. It just might be a different 30% that does, but that number stayed pretty consistent. And then from there, most people go on and they click the next steps. You can't see the button here anymore, but they click that next step over. And then there's other metrics inside of the school community that then I go and look and I see, okay, how are people moving from one stage to the next, to the next, to the next? All right. And so I think I'm sharing that, and that's an existing system that I've already put together. I think that there's a part of this system that I also want to make sure I put together, which is related to when people. I have to spend some time, but I generally like to just copy paste. Like, rather than coming up with brand new ideas, I generally like to copy paste. So what am I thinking about when I say copy paste now? I'm thinking about, is there a way that I can have people come on and, instead of signing up for the Outliers Edge podcast panel, they're actually instead signing up for a time to come and get live coaching with me on the live stream, right? So this is not to replace it. I would duplicate it, and this is my process. So, like, I learned this from Steve Schultz back when I first got into things, which is about, like, when I got my first job. He was just like, we copy and then we improve. That was like the whole thing. All right, we make different iterations. So we already have this. We know that this works overall. That we can have one page that leads to the next, and so on and so forth. So I'll probably come up with another version of this for people who want to come onto the podcast panel. Sorry, onto to get coaching live. And it'll probably end up being one of two ways. It maybe come get your orientation, and then from the orientation, we then take you to get a schedule a one-on-one experience with me. That feels right. And then there's another one that might go the opposite direction, to get the one-on-one experience with me, and then it takes you to the orientation page, right? So that those pages haven't been created yet. And when I say so notice there's a difference between an orientation, which is an orientation into the school community, to help make sure that you're able to get the most that you can from being inside of the school group. We've actually been, like, cleaning things up, making it more, like, intuitive, so on and so forth along the way. But that was what the orientation is, and I know that I have a gap in terms of we haven't actually created it. Yeah, we haven't created not the orientation, but the actual, like, mechanism to do the orientation. So that's missing, and then the space to go and sign up for your one-on-one session, one-on-one orientation is missing, and then there's just, like, some onboarding emails and on like we have a start here classroom. Like there's some things in the start here that need to get updated in particular. Make sure that I think it's actually like streamlining it better for people so it doesn't feel overwhelming. And then, yeah, I look at this, I'm like, okay, there's just a lot to get done. All right. Whereas this is the jumpstarting your 14 days, all this stuff here, like this is actually a separate course. Just like just like all you do is just these things right here. So I'm gonna be updating that. That's really good to know. I didn't know that beforehand. Uh and the calendar feels pretty decent right now. And then there's the co-created playbook. So this is something I put together for all the people who come onto the podcast panel. And now I just need to make sure I have something in here about like how to prepare for the live part of it. Right. So that's going to be really, really good. It's going to be really good. I think if I did that, that feels really good. And then afterwards, it comes down to I have to start inviting people to come watch the live streams. So I have a thing in my because that would be me like finishing up and tightening up the existing flow for the existing flow what I have and just be like, all right, does that work? Can we get that to work? Then the real place that I need to be at is like, how do I get people into the live stream and how do I have them actually uh, what are they getting in terms of messages when they join? How do we get them to get the link to the orientation? How do we get them to get their first post going? And even as I say that, I think the real thing is that is even a step beyond before that. And the step before that is just me inviting them, let them know, hey, I'm doing this movement. Hey, we have this thing. You've been working with me. I'd love to support you. And this is how I'm doing it now. And that's the part that right now I'm like, oh, I don't want to invite people. Um, and so I'll spend some time on it. And I might have to make a new game. If I had 10K live and it got me doing 10,000 minutes of live coaching, maybe there's 10K invitations. Oof. Maybe, but we'll play out from there. Okay. I'm feeling good about this year. I don't want to. I want to be respectful of everyone's time. So we'll come back on here. Look out. If there's a high likelihood I'll be back on later on today. It will likely be about 1 p.m. Pacific if that ends up happening. And if not, you'll see a notification that we're going live again. All right. Oh, Rick, how are you doing? Nate, I'm glad to see you. It's awesome that you're being vulnerable with the backstage stuff. Progress, not perfection. You got it, Nate. And then Rick, it's been so long. It's so good to see you. We need to catch up. All right, I'm gonna end this here. Lots of love to you all. And remember this until the next time we talk. Be you on purpose. Journey on.